What's up guys, I'm Grif, and today we're going to talk about an opinion that is not necessarily directly related to video games, but more this kind of industry of games, stuff like Twitch, YouTube. It's probably going to be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but that's okay. We can talk about it, and if you hate what I have to say, we can argue about it in the comments or on the website, infiniterespawn.com. You know, whatever, however you want to handle this, let's have a conversation about it. So here we go. Earlier this week I saw an article about a streamer that died during their 24-hour stream. It was Poshybrid. He was a big World of Tanks streamer. He was around the 23-hour mark. He took a break and then didn't come back. When people went looking for him the next day, they ended up talking to the local police department, and they're looking into what happened to him, which spurred another article later on in the week from Joe Marino, who I think was originally the article was posted on Medium, but I saw it over on Kotaku, and it's about how streaming almost killed him. As I was reading this article about streaming almost killing somebody, I was thinking, you know, how crazy is that? How much are you willing to put yourself at risk for something like streaming, which you're treating as a job at that point? And I think here is where we get into my super unpopularness. So, streaming, yes, can be a job, so can YouTube. I want it to be a job, that's why I'm here all the time, but it's something that you have to moderate yourself. You can't say that my need for numbers is what drove me to almost killing myself in this crazy, crazy situation. In the article, Joe Marino, who most people know as Geekdomo over on Twitter, he was talking about how he went from 8 hours a day of editing YouTube stuff to moving to Twitch to stream because you get real-time feedback, and he wanted to know, you know, as YouTube, you get a dislike, you don't know why. On Twitch, everybody's like, hey, you suck, here's what I don't like about you, which isn't always the case. Twitch streamers are not always forthcoming with their reasons for being dicks to you or just not liking your stream. But at the same time, that's really not the point. The point is he swapped over to get a better idea and a better conversation going with his audience as it was happening. So initially, he was streaming 8 hours a day, which is what a lot of streamers start out with. They want to be on all the time, so it's 8 to 10 hours a day. That's normal job time, whatever. He was doing it 6 days a week. It's a little more than you would expect to work a 40-hour job. You're working closer to 50, 60 hours a week, which in some jobs, that's the norm too. I know exactly what that's like. That's how my job is most of the year. So, yeah, normal job time. Alright, so you're playing games and doing this stuff. A year later, he mentions that he was working even harder than that. He said that he had some software going live, so I'm not sure exactly what that means, if that was day job stuff, but essentially he was working 18 hours a day. Okay, that really sucks. It doesn't leave a whole lot of time for sleeping and family and everything like that. It's understandably difficult, obviously. Fast forward a year later, and unfortunately one of Joe's friends, who was also a streamer, was found dead, and it kind of made Joe start thinking about how he was feeling, and the fact that he had been feeling a lot of physical discomfort, he was emotionally distressed, things like that. So he finally went to the doctor and found out that he needed basically a huge bypass surgery. He was having some serious medical problems. A lot of the medical problems stemmed from basically inactivity. He was sitting at home and playing games on stream, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, that's what I do, but you just have to balance it, and he wasn't at that point balancing, and I think that this is a trap that a lot of streamers fall into, and I think the downside of falling into that trap is that streamers and YouTubers try to blame it on the platforms that they're on, and the amount of time that they feel they need to spend on these platforms. Yes, you do want to stream 24 hours a day. Is that gonna happen? Probably not. 24-hour streams aren't unheard of, but it's not something that you should shoot for regularly. Even 8 to 10-hour streams can be stressful if you're doing them 7 days a week. You kind of have to learn how to moderate yourself, and I think this is where a lot of people fail. I'm sure you could be watching this and thinking, I can see your YouTube views and everything. You're pretty small YouTube, you don't stream anymore, but when you were streaming, you didn't have like huge audiences and everything. And yeah, that's true. It's a hard market to break into, and I understand the pressures of wanting to be there all the time. It's something I definitely felt when we first started streaming with Infinite Respawn, and I even feel it now here with YouTube. I'm putting up at least a video a day with the exception of weekends, and right now we don't have anything going up on Thursdays. I feel bad about that, but it's something that had to happen because I was driving myself crazy to have new content 7 days a week, or even 5 days a week. We were putting up videos Monday through Friday, which is reasonable, and I will find something to fill that Thursday spot. I just haven't found it yet. But when we were streaming and we were doing YouTube stuff constantly, I was putting up 2 and 3 Let's Plays at a time. It just got crazy. And I think that that's why this article and these set of circumstances with streamers pretty much running themselves into the ground really hits home with me, because I was there. I've done that, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay, there was no t-shirt, somebody lied about that. But regardless, I've been through those situations. A lot of people look at Twitch streamers or YouTubers and go, I could do that. I could sit at home and do that, no problem. I could probably stream 12 hours a day and I'd be just fine. Except for the fact that 12 hours a day is half your day, and you have other things that you have to take care of during the day, or during any given day. If you're streaming 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, when do you clean the house? When do you even eat at that point? And that's the big problem. That's where all of the health issues come in, even mental health, all of it, physical health, everything. It all plays into that because you're spending so much time focused on this one thing. You have to look at it, if you want it to be a job and you want to be successful, you have to look at it as a job. What job are you willing to do to the point that you almost kill yourself? If you work at like Target or just somewhere retail and you're checking out products all day, are you willing to run yourself into the ground for that job? I know that streaming feels differently, or YouTube feels differently. Both of them do, because you want so badly to be successful in something in your own right, and this is something I am speaking from experience on. However, if you kill yourself doing this, what do you have to show for it in the long run? A moderately successful channel with a dead host. I mean, it sucks, and it seems like I'm being really mean and blunt about it, but it's true. You have to learn how to moderate and take care of yourself, or there's no point in you trying to be successful, because you'll be successful for 2-3 years and then you're gone. And then what? Your legacy lives on? For a few thousand people maybe? That's it. You gotta try to make this for the long term, baby. That's how it's gotta be. So, I think people need to learn how to moderate. I think people need to learn how to manage themselves. It's like running a business, only you're the one running it and there's no boss telling you you need to clock out for the week or you need to take a lunch break now and then. You are the one that has to decide that and has to keep up with all of it, and it's hard, especially when you get wrapped up in it. There are times when I'm recording Let's Play stuff on the weekends and I will sit in here for hours. This is where I do all of my stuff. It's my pseudo office. I will sit in here for hours. Basically, I'll get up, have breakfast, and I don't see chicken or my dog or my cats until 7-8 o'clock at night, because I'm just so wrapped up in trying to make content and get things together and plan stuff for the week. All of it. It's a lot of work, and I know that it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. It's a lot of work, but I want this to succeed and I have to work for it. But at the same time, I have to take care of myself too. You might have noticed if you've been around Infinite Respawn for a while that we've kind of slowed down on content on YouTube. We've cut back on all the stuff that's going up on the website and things like that. I'm still trying new things and working stuff out, but I hit that wall. Around Thanksgiving last year, I just hit a wall where I couldn't offer more of myself. With Infinite Respawn, I take on a lot of the responsibility for it. I do a lot of the Let's Play stuffs. It's because everybody else is busy. I have a job too. I have a day job. This is my super secret nighttime job, but it's still something that I sacrifice a lot of time for, and I willingly sacrifice that time, but I was sacrificing too much. I would spend almost full weekends where the only time I saw Chicken, who lives with me, would be on the podcast on Sunday afternoons. Like, basically, I'd see him Saturday morning, be like, hey, what's up? Record videos all day Saturday and into the evening, go to bed, see him Sunday morning, say, hey, what's up? Get all the stuff together for the podcast and any other stuff that we had to do for the weekend, be on the podcast with him, and then go right back to working for Infinite Respawn stuff. I mean, he lives with me and he only saw me a few hours over every weekend, and then we work all week. And again, I'm sure it sounds like I'm complaining at this point. I'm not complaining. I'm not. That's the stuff I did to myself. That is why I've cut back. That is why we don't have 6 and 7 things going up every week right now. And that's what it really has to come back to, is moderation. I was not taking care of myself, and things were getting really awful for me. I had to make that decision to be like, alright, look, you're an adult. You need to roll it back in and just take care of yourself for a little while. Over the holidays this past year, Infinite Respawn did almost nothing. We took off for the podcasts, which we had been doing podcasts every weekend, even through Christmas and New Year. This year we did not. I just couldn't. I had to step back a little bit and had to kind of rein it back in. And that's what everybody needs to do now and then. If you turn on the camera for your stream or your YouTube video and you think, I really just don't even want to do this today, that's the time to step back. You can put on the face all you want, the yay, I'm happy to be here, let's play some crazy games, but people, especially your fans that are true fans of you, will know. They'll notice. They'll see through that facade and go, okay, something's wrong. And that's not the content that you want to put out there. You want to put you out there. The real you, the happy you, the awesome you. Because that's what people want to see. So if you have to step back for you, the people who are really supporting you will understand. And I understand that Twitch is attention span is like a gnat. I mean, 5 seconds that you go AFK, half of them are gonna leave. If you're gonna build an audience, you're gonna build it with people who are okay with you taking breaks. They're okay with you saying, I need a day. I'll be back on stream tomorrow. So it's okay. Don't hurt yourself. Don't kill yourself for people who are gonna watch you for 5 minutes and never come back. Don't risk that. There are other people who want you to be around for the long haul. You should want you to be around for the long haul, and you should be around for the long haul. So moral of the story is, yes, YouTube and Twitch are both very stressful platforms to be on. It's a lot of work, and you have to bust your ass if you want to break in now, because it's so oversaturated. And this is coming from somebody that's still breaking in, but I'm not willing to kill myself for that one foot in the door. I mean, if I get my foot in the door and die, what about the rest of me? I never made it to the party. Come on. Be smart about it. Learn to moderate yourself. Learn to figure things out, how much you can take, what your limits are, things like that, and don't push those. You want to do a 24-hour stream every once in a while? Go for it. You want to do a ridiculous recording marathon because you aren't going to have time in a week? Go for it. But don't make that a habit. Don't make it every day or every weekend you're on for 24 hours solid. You're going to burn yourself out. And if you burn yourself out and put yourself in the ground, it's even worse. So maybe that's me being incredibly unpopular. Maybe that's me being ridiculous about it because everybody wants to compete for numbers and wants to be on 24 hours a day and see those numbers jack up as high as they can, as fast as they can. That's fine, but understand that you're working yourself into an early grave and you're not going to benefit from when those numbers really start tapping out. So, take care of yourselves, be awesome because you are awesome, and stay that way. Stay alive. Anyway, let's talk about this. How do you feel about it? Do you think streamers need to be on 18 hours a day in order to make it? Do you think YouTubers need to be working all the time? Do you think anybody should complain about working 8 hours as a streamer or a YouTuber? I don't. I mean, I think that's a regular job, and if you want this to be a job for you, then you gotta work for it. You can't say I'm gonna play video games for 4 hours and somebody better pay me, because that's not how it's gonna be. Sorry, that's just it. So, thanks for hanging out. Let's talk about this here in the comments or on the website infiniterespawn.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at InfiniteResPC, and I will see you guys in the next one.